What's going on, everyone? Crazy Russian 86 here. Welcome back to another freaking video. And this video goes down to SBN Resonate. I just watched one of his last video, with the weird title. I'm not gonna respond to that because I don't agree with his title personally. I was reading like, what the fuck? You're saying the same thing, but title doesn't show what you're talking about. But anyway, I'm gonna make a response to the video. I just watched it, so I'm gonna say what I think about the content of his video. So here I go without further ado. Number one, SBN Resonate been talking about him not being happy with his weight. He says that he is like 5'11" or something, I think he said in previous videos, and his weight is like 225 or something. And he said that he wants to lose another 40 pounds. He's saying that when he was in high school, he used to weigh between 183 and 187 pounds. Now, I think that SBN Resonate, you have an unreasonable expectations, okay? You're 36 years old now, okay? And normally, people in their 30s don't weigh the same as high schoolers. Okay, I understand. You think that 225 is a little bit too much for your height, and you feel like you're a little bit obese. I get that. Me personally, I'm a little bit shorter than you. I'm like 5'6" and a half, almost 5'7". And I weigh about probably close to 170 pounds, give or take. I usually weigh myself in kilograms. And my mom always tells me that, you know what, I need to lose my stomach, that I'm a little bit overweight. Because with my height, I should weigh less than that. I don't care, because a lot of people at this age, they have it. And of course, some people say, well, you know, when you're in your 50s or 60s, yeah, that would make sense for you to have weight. But when you're in your 30s, it's like, nah, you're still too young for that. Well, I don't care about it. I don't really, worried about it that much. I mean, there are some people who are like health nuts. Me, I'm not the one. SBN Resonate, didn't you say that you have one life and you want to enjoy it? Well, what if for you enjoying your life means eat whatever the fuck I want to eat, right? What if you want to drink malt liquor, eat McDonald's, for example, or eat steaks and potatoes, and you're just happy about it, You're not really eating healthy, but you like what you eat. I know there's a lot of people who say that because you don't eat right, that's why you don't feel good and this and that. I mean, me personally, I don't agree with that. It could be true to an extent, but I don't think that that's the truth. I don't think that if you're gonna eat well, it's gonna solve all your problems. And I see that with you as well as being reasonable. Because you're talking about, oh, I'm feeling better because I cut this and this product. Now, what you doing with your life? Do you have a job? Get a real job first. Get off unemployment, get off your medications. I know you're probably not gonna like me, maybe you'll accept my criticism for what it is, but, and I myself, I'm not in the best shape right now partially because of myself, partially because of some stupid people, But I tell you one thing. You cannot please other people, and people will always have problem with you. But as long as you keep the job and you're doing something, even if you're not doing enough, and people are allowing you, or giving you opportunity to make the money, and forgiving you and saying, hey, this guy is trying to do something, he's making money, leave him alone. Let's stop in the right direction. If you don't have that, you're worse off. So, no matter what your excuses are, to have a job is better than not to get a job. Even if people don't like the way you do it, no matter what. You know? And of course you're not gonna like it. No matter what you do, there are gonna be some people who are not gonna like it. You can't be a people pleaser, in my opinion. Of course some people think differently, but I disregard the opinions of these people. Because these people are fucking imbeciles and they're pieces of shit and they're not thinking right. And if you're not thinking right, that means you're fucking subhuman. That's all. Like me personally, I don't give a fuck. Like to me, I know I'm a little bit crazy and I'm thinking about hurting people who don't think like me, and I think that people who think not thinking like me or don't agree with me should be cut out, blocked and isolated. Because that's subhumans, they're just pieces of shit. And people like that, who are pieces of shit, who telling people what to do and taking their freedoms away from them and trying to change people, people like that, they're very dangerous and they need to be isolated. And if these people are not leaving you alone, they need to be reported to the police for the harassment. But that's just my fucking opinion, I know you're not gonna like me, but that's just how I feel. And also that goes back to my next point. And I know you're not as aggressive as me as SBN Resonate, but I'm just being myself, I'm just the type of guy who don't take shit from people, like sometimes it's trying to take shit from people because I know that I'm underdog, so I need to kiss up to people so I can get money and other things from people, because unfortunately I'm not a boss. And I remember one of the guys who used to tell me I'm not a boss. In my head I'm a boss. In my head, like, I'm a fucking king and everybody just fucking pieces of shit who deserve to be slaughtered if they don't do what I want. If I would live like this, if I would tell people what to do, and if they're not gonna be doing it, I could fucking kill them. I would be feeling like I'm a fucking king and I would be feeling great. Like that would be good life to live. Not that I necessarily want to hurt other people. I just want to get what I want at any cost and live how I want to do what I want. And if I don't get it, it's a problem for me. That's all. And I know that's kind of selfish, it's kind of narcissistic, but hey, you only live once. If that's what gives you happiness, if your happiness is to control other people, do whatever you want, and have no regard for other people, and act how you want, to me that's happiness, okay? I'm just being honest with you. To me that's happiness. To me happiness is being left alone, thinking about things, getting money, acting how I want, and not giving a fuck about nothing except what I want. Like, to me this is happiness, That's how I want to live my life. Do I want to have friends with people? Yes and no. I want to have friends, but not to the expense of, living how I want. Now, if people tell you, hey, you shouldn't be like that, you shouldn't think like that, you shouldn't act like that, you're not all of that, who are you? Well, these are horrible people. If people tell you these things, even if they're true, that could be true, but, like, some people have no regard for nothing. Like I said, that's why, you understand that you're not a boss, but, you need to kiss up to other people just so you can survive, Like, you might think that, oh, my boss, you may think that he's a piece of shit, I'm better than him, but, thinking on the back of my mind, well, I need to act nice because I want to get money from him. Because if I'm not gonna get the money, I may get a severe consequences, right? But then you think, oh my God, how nice it would be to fucking take a knife and fucking slaughter him because he doesn't let me do what I want and work how I want, because you think that, what, and of course I'm talking about myself right now, because I'm thinking I'm right, there's nothing wrong with what I do, and when people telling me otherwise, I only start fucking hating them and thinking, what, if only I was big and strong, I would kill them all, So like, to me, that's like, It's like pretty reasonable, you know, but you know, some people may say, oh, you have mental health issues, but I don't think so, because, you know, I guess I have victim mentality, but I truly believe that I'm a victim, you know, because for me personally, I don't like when people are trying to force me to live and do things which I don't want to do or doesn't agree with me. And if you have a job, you have to deal with that type of bullshit. That's why, for me, I'm being real, and I understand that everywhere I go, I'm gonna have problems. Getting along with people and being friends with everybody, that's not a realistic goal. Being nice to people, especially the people who take your freedoms away from you, this is impossible. I know I kind of start talking about myself too much, again about my problems, instead of be focused on, you know, responding, but hey, that's Crazy Russian 86, it's just how my mind goes. People say, oh, you need to eat right to clear your mind. I disagree with that, because I know that no matter what I do, it's always going to be the same thing. Just like SBN, you said before, I was rewatching one of your videos. With that one, I actually do agree. And you said that you can only help yourself. Nobody else can help you. People can give you advice, but they cannot, you know, make you think or be a certain way. You know? People may say, oh, you shouldn't be like that, you're gonna have difficult life, you're gonna have problems. But you know, we as people, we're never satisfied, we're never happy. The only satisfaction we have is when we're about to die. So, if you do have a job, you make money, you're gonna hate your work, you're gonna be complaining about your job. If you don't have a job, you're gonna be complaining about absence of money. See, no matter what we do, no matter what, we always have problems. They're just given. Life is like a very big problem. We put here to some kind of test, I guess. And you saying also SBN lifestyle, I want to get to the next point of yours. You've been talking about you shouldn't be trying to control other people, compete with other people. Well, to me that's kind of unfortunate, because with my mentality, if I would have an opportunity to control other people, that would make me feel good about myself. And the reason why I cannot control other people, because I'm weak, because I'm inferior to other people. That's the only reason why I cannot control other people. I mean, yes, to a certain degree, people are gonna be people, so you cannot control the way they do things or the way they think. But if you have a power over people, you're not gonna, for example, be able to make people work a certain way. And if you're not satisfied, you can fire people, which is again you in the upper hand, because you're the one firing it, people. So if you fire people, it means that you are better than people who are getting fired. You're superior to these people, you know. And if people are quitting because of you, then, you know, it makes you a better person, because you feel power because of that. But that's just my personal mentality, you know. So that's why I consider my bosses being better than me, because they're the one can fire me, but I cannot fire them, you know. They call the shots, you know. People who call the shots, they're powerful. And people who follow, they're like inferior people. And if people, you know, not satisfied with you, they can get rid of you. So it means that you're a piece of shit. right? You're subhuman. But at the end of the day, you know, we all get old, so at certain time you're on top, but then at some point you're gonna go down, so it's like, no matter what. But, to me, personally, there are only two ways of life acceptable. Way number one, control everybody else, make people do what I want, and if not, punishing them if I don't get my way. Clearly that way doesn't work. So what's the alternative way working for me? Get somewhere, do the job where I can just get the money and don't deal with nobody, or deal with people whom I like as an individuals. And say, you know what, as long as I get the money, I don't care. Get the money is good, not get money, the money is bad. You know? And if I don't get any other way, the third way comes down to homicide or suicide. That's the third option. But in order to live, there is only two acceptable options for me. It's either be a dictator, which is not an option for me, or being all by myself, just getting money and being peon for the society, but then again, not being part of the society, because being part of the society means societal slave, it means ass kisser. What I want to do is to make bargain with other people so they give me the money, so I can do the job, so I can live, so that then I can isolate myself from these people, or deal with people whom I like, you know, so I can be free from people. Because kissing up to people, this is slavery. To me, this is slavery. I want freedom from people, freedom from society. That's why we work, so we can be free. Not to deal with people who like don't give a fuck about, you know. That's why we kiss up to people, because we need money. Otherwise, like, I can tell anybody to fuck off and tell them to eat a dick. Or we kissing up to people because we're afraid of them, because they're bigger and stronger than us, and because we know there's gonna be kind of some harsh consequences. Otherwise, shit. If I was a Superman, somebody tell me something I don't like, next thing you know, they're fucking in the cemetery, and I don't give a fuck. And that's a good position to be in, you know. You just step on somebody if they don't do what you want. Like, to me, that would be very happy existence, because I would feel like I'm a fucking god, and that would make me feel happy. You know? But that's just me. Like, to me, when I have to deal with people who kiss up to people, that's like torture. To me, the happiness is when I do what I want, when people are tolerating me, if I cannot be a dictator, at least I have an opportunity to live and work on my terms. And progress on my terms. And yes, people may not be happy with it, but unfortunately, in my personal opinion, pleasing other people is just not feasible, really. It's just not attainable goal, you know. We just made as an individuals in a way that we just cannot be happy with each other. I noticed that about life. No matter what you do, no matter who you are, you cannot please other people. And every time everything is a contradiction, you know, like on one hand people telling you can do what you want, it's your life, live how you want it. But the minute you actually live how you want it, they say, oh, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Wait a minute, didn't you just tell me, it's my life, I can live it how I want it? And that's not like that. But wait a minute, you just told me I can live my life how I want it. Why are you telling me not like that? So that means that I cannot live my life how I want it. It means that you've been lying to me, you know? So that means that I'm a fucking slave. That's it. When you say you can live your life anywhere you want it, and they say don't be like that, second statement crosses out the first statement right there. So by saying you can live your life how you want it, you're just being a hypocrite. Because clearly you cannot live your life how you want it. What other things I wanted to say to SBN? Let me think. Okay, so I covered the weight problem, which is unrealistic because 36-year-old man cannot weigh the same weight as like a teenager. And some people feel like they can, but no, everything is changing. And he said, oh, everything is changing, you knew every day. And I said, Charles Manson said that, but this is something I personally don't agree. You're not new every day. You are the same you, it's just a new chapter in the same story. I agree with the growth part, okay? It's always good to grow, it's always good to do something new. But people have personalities. Some people are more conservative, some people are less conservative. So when you tell people get out of your comfort zone, well, maybe you're taking people's happiness away from them. Because what if people just want to be stuck and do the same thing over and over? And if you force them not to do the same thing over and over, they feel unhappy. It may not be good for them, but then again, what's good? Define good. Good is a subjective term, so maybe dying is good. Maybe living this fucked up world is a good thing. People are saying, oh, it's selfish to commit suicide, you shouldn't do it. I say, why not? If you're sick and tired of this fucked up world, if you want to commit suicide, go ahead. You know, there's nothing wrong with it, you're gonna die anyway. So fuck it, you know. I'm not saying you should be doing that, but I'm just saying that if you hate this life, there's nothing wrong with it, if you feel like it. For me personally, I know nobody wants me to do it and they want me to leave, but the only way for me to leave, if I don't want to do that, is having the job and not dealing with nobody and living how I want. But that's just me personally. And people are trying to make me friends with people, get along with people. For what? It's good to have friends and deal with people, but why should I deal with people with whom I can have nothing in common? That just doesn't make sense, you know? See, in this life you cannot do what you want and cannot be what you want. You're bound by your abilities, you are bound by people around you. So really, you have no choice in nothing, really. SBN Resonate, I would suggest you to watch the guy Life is Overrated 96. I agree with his philosophy, except I'm not anti-natalist. I mean, I agree with certain things, not everything. Like, for example, I don't agree with him, you know. But he's a little young, you know, like, to me, I kind of more like you, because like you know, you're a little bit more mature in the sense. Because that guy, he's a little bit maximalistic, and now I'm thinking like, you know, you can't think like that. He's still the point where he's complaining about the jobs, working too much. but he's still doing it. And I used to do it too, but now I'm thinking, you know what? There is no point of complaining about nothing. There is no right or wrong. And this is something actually, another point I'm getting into. I agree with you. You kind of have to break the habit. Now I'm thinking about it. But the habit is not like being more innovative when you're naturally conservative. You just have to break the conditioning which was given to you by other people who's been telling you this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad. I think that you have to break the conditioning which other people, maybe your parents, prescribe to you. You should break the habit of thinking, hey, whatever my parents taught you is the right thing, and you know, if I'm doing the opposite, it means I'm wrong. You see, that was a lot of problems I used to have in my life, because I was thinking that, you know what, my parents know better, even though I don't agree, and I had this struggle before. It's hard sometimes just make a decision and just go with it, you know? So it's hard sometimes just like ignore other people who are sharing their opinions with you. I always had that problem, because to me, I was thinking that, you know what, if somebody tells me something, it means they know what's up. It's like but really, people don't know any better. And a lot of times, since it's your life, you're gonna be the one living with the consequences of the choices of your actions. So if somebody give you bad advice and you follow it, it's gonna be your responsibility. But there is really no right or wrong in this fucked up life. Because at the end of the day, the world is very complicated, okay? So whatever people tell you, listen to them. It may work for them, but it's not gonna work for you. Or maybe the fact that they did that and they lived like that led to their lives being like that. So if you're gonna act like your parents or live like your parents, hey, you're gonna have their life. What if you don't want this life? If you don't want this life, you need to find a way how to do things differently. So whatever works for them may not work for you. That's just what it is. And if you do something which doesn't agree with you, you're gonna be miserable. People are talking about you need to live, not to exist. But then people tell you, well, this is not the right way to live when you think differently. Yeah, sometimes in life you have to break the habit, take risks. You just gotta do something different. even if you don't want to do it. I don't know what else to say. Thanks for watching.